Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Hi, how are you? I'm
I'm
sorry I
fine.
took a bit of a while to install all this, but I'm happy it's good now.
No, it's okay. No problem. How are you doing?
Good, yeah, I'm good, thank you. We're in training camp in Italy right now.
Yeah,
So
wow.
I'm at the center. Yeah, we're so lucky. And I'm at the center, Australian center. So
Oh,
the Australians, when they come to Europe, they stay in this base. And
okay.
so when they're not here, we can just sneak in to do training camps. So here we
Cool.
are, and it's a great facility. Like we have the lake is like 2 minutes away. We have, there's a cook. The rooms are really good. Like there's recovery pools, there's physios. It's like it's so
Wow.
good. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
so
it sounds
lucky.
amazing.
Yeah, no, we are so
You're
lucky.
enjoying your
So
time there.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
All right.
So yeah,
So,
what time is it for you?
it's 8 also. We on the
Oh,
same time
okay,
zone.
perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was
So,
scared that it was gonna be an insane time for you, so okay, good.
no, thank God. You're perfect. All right. So, how was your day so far? Like, how was your training? You said you had training before our meeting. How was your training today?
Yeah, so actually today was a good day because so basically in our federation, it's always like when we arrive at around March, April, we do trials, it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So we do like selections, we trial, we do the boats for the season. So now we've trialed 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and directly from trials, we came to this training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the first days were a bit chill, more chill than usual,
Mm-hmm.
because we just came out of 4 or 5 days of racing.
Okay.
So we had a bit of a chill start, and then we started taking up the load day by day. But
Okay.
today was so now it's been a week and a half that we're in training camp.
All right.
So it was time to do a bit of a day a bit lighter, and that was today. So we did only 2 sessions, one on the water and weights.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I mean, it was really, really good. Like we did, I love when we have only 2 sessions because when it's once on the water and once it weights, you can really focus on both really well, like we do 100% focus on the water, and then you have a bit of a break, and then it's 100% on weights, and then you have the afternoon off to clear your mind of whatever. So
Yeah.
like we're in Italy, so it's cool to have a little gelato, to
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
like it's good to have something else as well. Hi
Okay.
there.
Oh yeah. So this is Noor Al Huda Arafa. She's my teammate, and she's also in the lightweight category. And she is
Okay.
yeah, she's a world champion for 2 years. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay, exciting.
yeah. All right. She will be with me, like asking you a little bit questions. I hope that's okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm so looking
All
forward
right.
to this.
So the first question, what do you do in your daily routine in your training? How is your daily routine
Okay,
goes?
yeah, so a typical day at the Swiss Rowing Center is so we wake up at like 6:15.
Mm-hmm.
We have breakfast, we get ready, and then we have warm up at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do like mobility stuff for 10, 15 minutes. Then we do a bit of erg, but really chill erg, like just to feel the movement and like build up from the back, build up from the front. That will take another 10 minutes. And then usually we have a speech from the head coach he will go through the whole day with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tells us, for example, today's focus is this, this, this. He maybe reminds us if it's the beginning of the week, like, yeah, remember that this week the focus is, this, because next week we have a competition, or like he would just remind us, the goals. Then we go underwater. That's about maybe 7:30, 35 by the time we get underwater. And then we train, and usually we do 40Ks warm up and then at least 20Ks. And that's for all
20K
boats. So if you,
per
yeah,
day.
at least.
Okay,
So,
at least. Okay.
so yeah, so we have 4Ks warm up and then 20Ks. So, and that's for all boats. So that's like, if you're training with this coach, you better be in a bigger boat. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Like it's really, the load is the same for every boat. So it's true that we do a lot of Ks, and if you're in the single, it's
gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would be, so the morning session is usually the longest one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a second breakfast. And then we have like a bit of a break. We have, so by the time we finish that and we have breakfast at 11, second breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So then we can like rest in our rooms and stuff for an hour or so. And then at 1, we have second training, and that will be usually on the water again. And that's 15K usually, 16K.
Okay.
Usually, like I'm telling you a typical day.
Okay.
And then the third session is at 4, and it's either weights or a third rowing session. So maybe on the erg or on the water again, or weights. Like one day out of 2 we do weights. So yeah, usually when we have weights is the last training. So that's another 2 hours. So then we finish around 6:30, and then we have just food, like go to buy groceries, cook, eat, recover, and then we start all over again.
Yeah, it's a long day. Like you need food after all of this.
Yeah, safe. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So does your daily routine change from like before competition or like normal training day? Is there any change from this to that?
Yeah, so I think first of all, already the load changes a bit when we approach a competition. So the training will be usually a little bit shorter, and we have just that allows more time. So first of all, personally, I think I can focus much better when we have a bit of a shorter session. So yeah, that's really good, and usually like the intensity comes up as the load comes down. So you can really like enjoy your warm up and your cool down stuff, but like when you have to go for it during pieces, you can really focus on going for it. So yeah, that's maybe the biggest change. And then otherwise, approaching a competition, I think there's a bit everything that changes, like you focus more on your recovery, you prioritize different stuff when you approach a competition. Like I would prioritize much more, my food, like what I eat, when, how, like just basic stuff, but like I would focus much more on making sure I'm really hydrating, making sure I'm really doing, the basic steps about that sometimes you forget, like, to, just go to your physio if you have to, like recovery boots if you have to, like, I don't know what, like, just focus on everything, but like times 10.
Okay. All right. So next question with Noor. Okay, Noor.
I think we can't hear you.
You're doing mute.
أيوة
Yes.
أهو.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, speaking of food and eating and this kind of stuff, how do you plan for your nutrition as a lightweight, and is it different now since you're not a light play and racing in this category currently?
So now I'm not a lightweight anymore. I went from lightweight to heavyweight, because I am really tall. I'm 183 size, So I don't know how tall you are, but yeah. So it was really tall. I mean, it was really tough to do the weight. So yeah, a lot has changed actually. So when I was a lightweight, I used to prepare my racing with 3 nutritionists, because it was so detailed. that I needed a bit of everything. So one was really focusing on my micronutrients, one was more on my macronutrients, and one was doing a bit the link of everything. And also the other one was really rowing focused, like she knew exactly what my training looked like and stuff, so she could do a bit the link of everything. So when I was a lightweight, it was really detailed, and for me as a lightweight, the focus was more on the weigh in than the race. So for me, like once I did the weigh in, I had like done the hardest part.
The hardest part, yeah.
Yeah, so which is not good. I'm aware of that 100%, but like that was the reality. So yeah, I went through a lot of techniques to like different techniques. I tried loads of different stuff to try and see the one that worked better for me. But at the end of the day, I realized that the one that worked better for me was, so first of all, during the whole year is to lose the weight smartly. So to not, to go step by step, because at one moment I thought, oh, like I'm a bit more fragile when I'm on a diet. So why wouldn't I try to do like winter weight, like my usual weight, and then just go down for summer? So I tried that thinking it was going to be smart, but actually it was really tough to get down that fast to weight. So that was not a good technique. So the second technique was, okay, I'm going to try and be more consistent now and like lose the weight really gradually. And that was mentally, I think, a bit tougher because you're on a diet for longer. But actually for the body, it was much better. Performance-wise, it was much better. So I decided to stick with that. And then from there, so I would really, for me, for example, I realized that my body doesn't need that much carbs. So when I was a lightweight, I wouldn't eat carbs in the evening, for example, never. And then I would prioritize a good breakfast if I had intensity stuff in the morning. But if I had just endurance stuff, sometimes I wouldn't have breakfast before the first session, because that allowed my body to go into the fats, to burn the fat, and not just the sugar that I ate in the morning. Yeah, so it would really depend. Like I would need we had a different head coach, and we would receive the training plan in advance, so it was really easy for me to know what was the key sessions in the week and what sessions I had to do really well and have good energy during the week. And then the other sessions were a bit, I had really sessions who were weight loss sessions. Like I didn't care about my speed, but it was just I had to do it, like, because when you row on a zone 0, because I'm really tall and I was quite powerful for a lightweight, zone 0 was really chill. So I knew it was going to be a challenge mentally, because when you're hungry, like you're a bit more tired and less focused and whatever. But like physically, I knew it was just a session to lose weight. So yeah, it was like with this head coach that we have now, it would be more challenging because a lot of the time we don't get the planning in advance, so it would be hard for me to know like when to be fit and when not. But so yeah, like for example, so the main tips I would say, like no carbs in the evening. Like I would drink before racing, I would do water loading. I don't know if you've heard about that. Like that's, it took me 2 years to try it because I'm like, this is so strange. But once I tried it, I was like, oh my God, this works so well. So 3 days before competition, I would drink, like, honestly, between 13 and 15 liters in a day. Like I was drinking so much. It was like, and I was peeing the whole time as well. I
can imagine.
And then, but like you lose, like it really purifies your body in a way that I had never seen before. Like, so of course, when you're doing that, you don't have to weigh yourself because you're so full of water.
Yeah.
But then after 1 or 2 days, I used to lose like 2 kilos like that. Just like, it was insane. So yeah, that's tip I would give to lightweights. Like, you can do a bit of research on it, because it's quite, there's a bit of studies that have shown that it works. But for me, it was a bit like, I don't know, I found it a bit weird. Like, I don't know, I never really wanted to try. And then once I tried it, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this every time now. Like, it worked really well. So, and then also, like, I used to sweat down as a lightweight, like the last grams. So because I knew I was so well hydrated, you know that if you have to sweat down, you're just gonna sweat down easy water, like it was also like really easy to sweat down after that. So yeah, good tip.
Yeah.
It's a great tip, though. I know you're not an ordinary lightweight. I mean, you're very tall for a lightweight, so I can understand it's harder to you than anyone else. So I love the story and the discoveries you were making to discover what works for you. Because it's uncommon. It's uncommon for a lightweight to be 185, 158,
Yeah.
183.
Yeah,
okay, 183. Okay.
No, but it's also, I think, like, I don't regret having being a lightweight. Like, I think I've learned a lot on my body, on training, on, a lot. But I think I also, and on nutrition as well, like, I've learned a lot. But I think also I took the right decision to stop when I stopped, because I think that when, like, I knew it wasn't healthy, but I think I had, sorry, that was my coach just passed. Sorry. But I think, like, I don't regret it at all. Like, it wasn't healthy. And when I knew, but I was a bit like trying to not think about it too much. Like, I'm very, very good at just stocking things in my head. I don't think about it. But when you have signals of your body that it's not good, for example, I started having more and more injuries. My ribs starting, like, I broke my rib with a stress fracture twice. I went to the doctors, and she was like, if you continue doing this until Paris, you maybe can't have kids anymore and stuff. Like, I didn't have my period for 3 years. It's like, it's signals you can't ignore forever. Like, it's okay for a small period of time, but you can't ignore that forever. And I think the youngest you are, I mean, it's okay if you do that, because I think the body can adapt pretty well. So if you stop having your period at 22, by the time you're 25, you'll get it back. It's fine. But now I'm 25 now. At Paris next year, I'm 26. Like, that would have been maybe 5 or 6 years without period. It's a long way. Like, it's a long, long way. So I don't know. Like, I was quite strong for a lightweight. I knew I could have my chance as a heavyweight. So I was like, let's go. Like, let's try it. And like, it was a new challenge. So why not? And
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you do for your recovery? Like, is there a certain thing you do for your recovery that works best for you?
So I think something I've learned really well is that recovery, for me, was always, recovery starts once I finished the training. But actually, it starts while you're training. And as weird as that sounds, it's true. So, for example, when we do very long intensity stuff, I would take, like, BCAA, like, proteins so now I take that in my bottle, with, like, or electrolytes and stuff, because then your body can use that as energy, and it doesn't have to go and search for it too deep inside. And so actually you finish the session and you're less exhausted than you would be. So then it, it helps, like, because we, for example, when we are in training camp here in Italy, we have only maybe less than an hour between session 1 and session 2, which isn't a lot when you have to, eat, recover, like, fuel your body. So that's a really good tip, actually. I would say even for lightweights, like you should, I think, really do that. And also, as a lightweight, if you need tips, the proteins, like during the training, like they really stop your hunger. You're really less hungry when you finish the training. So that's also maybe a tip I could give you. But yeah, then after, otherwise, yeah. But so otherwise, after weights, definitely proteins, like as fast as possible. And then in the evening, like, of course, fueling your body properly. That's the #1 rule. And then otherwise, like when we have the luxury of having physios, like, of course, I sign in always. I think the physios in the Swiss team, they always make fun of me because I always say that I'm the grandma coming for my little, like, evening treats.
Okay.
It's like, it's a joke, but it's so true. Like, it helps, your body and your mind also to know that you have had 30 minutes to reset your body, yourself, for the next day and stuff. Like, especially, we put our bodies through so much in a day and so much in a week, that it's important to have, I think, that time, so yeah, that would be the main stuff.
Okay. Noor, you have the next question?
I think you're on mute again.
Mute. What the?
Okay. So you in the lockdown you did 8-word records, as
Yes.
we remember. um, how did you approach them? Did you plan them beforehand? How did you mentally prepare for them? Would like to listen.
Yeah, okay, so that's a funny question because it feels like such a long time ago. Okay, so actually, believe it or not, the first world record I did was a training in the Swiss team. Like, we were doing a weekend of racing, and the last day we couldn't race. So the coach just decided, okay, we're gonna do 1,000 meters on the erg, just to finish off the weekend. And that was just before Christmas. So Christmas 2019. So I did the training and did the 1,000 meters, and then my coach came to me and he was like, I think it's a world record. And I was like, you're sure? And stuff. And then I went to see the list, and that's the moment where I realized there is a list of, I did not even knew the existence of this list. So anyway, so that's the moment where I realized there was a list. Then once I realized that, I was like, okay, but I'm not gonna send this one. I'm gonna, like, prepare myself during Christmas, like, just because we just finished a whole weekend of racing. So I was like, okay, but I think I can do better than this. So if I have 1 or 2 days off, so I'm gonna do it again at Christmas and see how it goes, and do a proper weigh-in and stuff. Like, I tried to did a bit of research how you have to, as a lightweight, how you have to proceed to make it official.
Yeah.
So I did my little research and stuff, and then at Christmas, so that year we did Christmas with my family a bit later than Christmas. So on the 25th, I said to my brother, like, hey, I think I want to do a world record. Do you want to come and be like the guy who, like, how do you call it? Just to check that it's true, He was like, excuse me? I was like, yeah, just don't ask too many questions. Like, let's just see how it goes. So he came with me at the club. We did like all the like official stuff, and it's quite long actually, the official stuff. Like it's not, you can't really, you know, bullshit. It's like you have a lot of things to do to make it true. Anyway, so we did all of that and stuff, and by the time we did all of that, I was a bit like, okay, but now it's a bit embarrassing if I don't do well. But anyway, so I did the 1,000 meters, like did a better time than training and stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll send this one. Like just, so then it was official. And that was the moment like, okay, I realized like 1,000 meters is a good distance for me, and there's a list, and like that's how it works. So then the season continues, and in March, lockdown. So, and I needed to train, you know, like we were like all athletes. We were at home, we had no coaching, we had no lake, we couldn't row, we couldn't. So I just had my erg and myself. So I was like, okay, like I need to train, like, but I needed challenge. I'm a girl that, what is happening? Okay. Can you see me? What is going on?
It went
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a girl that needs challenges to train. I can't just train to train. Like that's not how I work. I need, you know, a bit of an objective and a goal. So I try to think about stuff, and then I was like, oh, the list. Like there's a list of, you know, world records. Like, and then I went to check it, and I'm much more a fan of shorter distance. So I started looking, you know, the fun ones, like 500 meters, like the fun, like with the 1 minute. I was like, okay, this is, and even if you fail, you know, you've done 1 minute. In my head, I was a bit like, who cares? It's just, so I started doing them for a bit of fun. And then, so that was like the first days. And then the longer the lockdown continued, the further I went into the list. So I was like, okay, but 1 minute is done, 500 meters is done, 1,000 meters is done. So the next one, like the 2K, it was a hard run to get. So I was like, okay, 2K, not yet. And then there was 4 minutes. I was like, okay, let's try that. And then there was like 30 minutes. I was like, okay, who cares? Let's try that. Like, it's a good training. And so as long as the lockdown went, I did like, I think the longer and longer the trainings, and I finished with the marathon. And I think the marathon, honestly, I wouldn't have done it on my own. I just did it because for the lockdown, like my whole village did a charity thing for COVID, and each person could sign up to do a random challenge for this charity thing. And so I was like, okay, you know what, this is a good excuse to do the marathon. And I knew that it was in the gardens, like everyone could do his own challenge in the garden. So, and then the other people of the village could come and visit, like from the garden, like garden to garden, like have a bit of a look of the different challenges. So I knew that there was going to be people during the whole thing. So I was like, okay, this can be a good motivation and a good excuse and like a good thing. So that's when I did it. And it was so cool because I had really people it was like overwhelming almost. Like there was really people cheering me the whole way. And at the end, I think because people knew that I was trying to do the world record and how long it would take, like for my last K, I had so many people. It was my mom was a bit like, but you know, it's COVID, like people shouldn't be so close together, like even if it's in the garden. Like she was a bit like embarrassed. But it was really cool. And we like my mom saw so many people, so she decided to because it was for charity, like everyone could give a bit of money, but she decided to do a bigger pot, like that people could participate even more. And we've had so much money for the charity in that pot. Like it was really, you know, I felt really good doing something good for a good cause as well. So that was like the best one so far. It was going to be hard to beat the emotions of that one. So yeah.
Okay.